Welcome everyone to a perfect day here in Okayama. The sun is shining, the forests are gleaming. We're here in the we're in the mountainside here in Okayama. Round 3 of the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan series, and just wanted to check around because we have a funny thing going on. Oh yeah, that here we are. That's the logo. So anyways, it's the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series, round 3 of the season here in Okayama. It's the Okayama 400 coming right up. And without out of the way, let's take a look into the track map to see what the Okayama circuit entails. Here is the track. 3.7 kilometers of racetrack awaits us. 12 corners in total, 55 laps. Just the 55 laps rather than the 68 that we had in the season finale, the season prior. We're looking at 1:30.024 for the target lap time for this round. The winningest driver is actually Hofumi. Sorry for the part where it says Isekaiji Mikolev on the Japanese part. Isekaiji Mikolev didn't actually have the most races won at Okayama. It's actually just Hofumi. So apologies for that part. This is what happens when you have one person dealing with the entire commentary, having to deal with the entire thing and just the one person. Anyways, the winningest title, of course, also being Tokino Sora from what we're seeing here. 2 wins for Tokino Sora, 1 in Hololive GT3 and the other in, 3 wins actually. 2 in Hololive GT3, 1 in Formula Hololive, 2 came from Hofumi, and the 1 other win came from Gabriel Ariadne. But that is not that's not the most relevant idea. Well, it is kind of relevant because Hofumi is looking to try to win the Okayama 400 to get himself into the Suyo. And speaking of the Suyo, we want to take a look into the championship order, but first let's take a look into the spotters guide. There has been some considerable changes in the lineup. Of course, we've already lost a Hololive GT3 ride due to unforeseen circumstances. And with that out of the way, we have Mohamed Cashew now being displaced. He's now transferred over into the Tsunomaki Watame number 3. And in terms of other driver changes, Aki Tanaka has abruptly left the Adak-RMS organization and has also left Hololive GT3 and Formula Hololive as a result. And so, if you look at the Shiranui Flare number 20, you'll look that there is a new name on the list. That is So Byung-eun from South Korea. He will now race for Shiranui Flare. And also, another new name making her Hololive GT3 debut is Yu Cheon. Hang on, just wanted to write something. Anyways, Yu Cheon makes her Hololive GT3 debut this round for Takane Lui in the car number 61. Obviously, she is in the bottom 5 from what we're seeing. From the championship standings, she currently sits 31st in the Hololive GT3 Japan Series qualified standings. So with that out of the way, those are the new drivers who will be taking part in today's Okayama 400. Let's take a look into the championship order to see the championship standings as it is. 14 drivers are currently inside the inside the Zako series positions, and the rest of the top 20 are inside the Suyo series positions. We have Raiji Kaczynski, of course, leading Hololive GT3 with authority after he has banged in very, very good performances. He's had a second place finish, if I'm not mistaken. Both Raiji Kaczynski and Mamashin Reza having an exactly similar average finish of 7.5. But because Raiji Kaczynski actually finished second that one race, this would mean that Raiji Kaczynski would be leading the Hololive GT3 Japan Series qualified standings by 16 points over Southern Reza. Of course, we have Wim Olgo, Lorenzo Ricci, Jeff Rohan, Jake Goodwin, Rustin Parascio, obviously enjoying his first podium in Formula Hololive the previous race at Sepang. He's looking to try to perform once again here in Hololive GT3, trying to get La Plaza as her first Hololive GT3 win. We have Ira Nakamura, Cam Gibbons, and Danilo Goyena now moving inside the top 10, especially for Danilo Goyena, who is now moved into the top 10 after unforeseen circumstances. And then we have Kaminari Reba and Raza Demashnev making it into the 11th and 12th positions. Isakaji Mikolev 13, Oli 14, Sinful 15, 2CM 16, Crystal Solomon 17, and then we also have So Byung-eun 18 taking over from Aki Tanaka, Tyler Williams at 19, and Mark Turner running out the top 20 spots. And And we also have the 14 drivers who are yet to make into the studio. Barger, Sky, Liu, Grant, Kizara Leo, Jeff Clark, Fabian Mendes, Muhammad Cashew, Richie Roy, and Hofumi inside the first 10 positions inside the Zako. Yucheon, Ali Fatoyo, Muhammad Shakir Reza, the last of the drivers who have scored points. And Alton Tanarov is on the heels to score his first points in Hololive GT3 this season, and to try to get himself a very serious momentum to get himself into the studio series. So anyways, we're going to get ourselves into qualifying here. I'm Mama Reza in the commentary booth. Welcome everyone here inside Okayama. Welcome everyone here to the Okayama International Circuit for round 3 of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series season. It's the Okayama 400 coming right up, and qualifying looks to have just begun. Just wanted to adjust the cameras and the angles. You know, you can just ignore the smoking safety car. That is actually intended for you know, race control purposes. Richie Rod currently is in the actually let's just get the cameras in. Like we mentioned, ignore the smoking safety car. That is pretty much normal. Anyways, we wanted to talk about this one. Richie Rod comes out at the track first for his first qualifying lap. And right now we're just looking into the current situations here for Richie Rod here in car number 22 for Shirkami Fubuki. And right now, Richie Rod has also seen a pretty crazy season so far, if you want to call him that, because he has been on and off throughout the season. He's currently on the Zako spots, so obviously he needs a performance or two to get himself back into contention in the studio series. And right now, Richie Rod just needs a top 5 or win for him to get into the studio positions. Danilo Goyana puts himself into the top 10 positions in the Osada Pecora number 11 Honda, as he's looking to try to confirm his spot inside the studio positions. Just wanted to excuse us for a second. Ari Nakamura also showing decent performances in the Akai Hato number 81, as you see, she's had some very consistent performances. She has been cooking from what she has said. But that's not the main focus of attention right now, because right now we also want to talk about Rustin Carrasco, currently inside the studio positions comfortably for Lapis Darkness. Let's go on board Rustin Carrasco for a lap here in Tsukuba. Rather, Okayama. Coming into turn 1, you have this 600-meter long straight, so you gotta need to really choose your braking zone. However, he's being blocked by Jeff Clark. So coming into Williams' corner, turn 2, he can really hang around in 3rd gear. If you have a faster car, you can probably hang around in the 4th. But then he's still being held up by Jeff Clark. Coming into the Moss S and into Atwood Curve, you can brake at 100-meter board to find a opening into turn 4, but he is very eager to make it a pass at Rustin Carrasco, and currently he's still being held up by Jeff Clark. And then you have the longest straight of the track, the back straight, coming into the hairpin at turn 5, and you might want to look into braking at 100-meter board and then downshifting into 1st gear. That's how slow the hairpin is. And then coming into Revolver Corner in turn 6 and into Piper in turn 7, both 3rd gear, both around 2nd and 3rd gear corners here, or at a 2nd gear corner for Rustin Carrasco, as he has to take evasive action against Jeff Clark. 101.822 for him, and that's not really the fastest time, as he's currently still stuck behind lap traffic of Jeff Clark. And into Redmond and Hobbs there, turns 8 and 9. Well, I might think of it actually turns 9 and 10. And then coming into Mike Knight, turn 11. And into the final corner, turn 12. If you want to call him that. Anyways, that should be a lap here in Okayama, and that should be Rustin Carrasco's lap. He is not the fastest he's been, because he's still stuck behind Jeff Clark. Anyways, back into the racing situation here in Okayama, and apologies for the background noise once again. Rusty Crusher is still struggling to get himself into a clean air position, so he's still being held up. And speaking of Altsa and Tara, we mentioned that he needs to perform this race. And right now he is doing just that. He's currently qualified third for Hikamata Kayu. And then suddenly we have Mohamed Shakif Reza and Yu Cheon setting fast lap times. Yu Cheon 1:31.351. Shakif Reza nearly half a second faster. He now currently sits in the provisional pole positions. Looking into debutant So Byung-eun for Shiranui Flare in car number 20. He's currently in 15th place. Doing very well where he is right now. And you can see here Alex Grant has spun, nearly causes a lot of trouble for flats at the Mosham. Looks like he has been collected in a spin and collected by other cars, and that should be him out for the rest of this qualifying session. Looks like more traffic woes for the drivers up front. Of course, the leading drivers in the front two spots is, of course, Mohamed Shakif Reza for Momo Suzunene and Yu Cheon in the number 61 Takani Lui Nissan. Right behind him, Airi Nakamura currently outperforming even her own expectations there, as Nakamura currently qualifies third for Akayahato. And also we also are looking at improvements. 131, I believe it's a 131.9 for Crystal Salmon, as he currently places his Crystal Salmon places his ASCII Honda currently in the top 5. We're looking into more improvements here. Fastest Lexus in the field right now is Callum Gibbons, who's currently 17. And now you can see here lap times ramping up. 1:31.1 for Jeff Rohan, who currently continues his amazing performance for Tokoyami Toa. He currently places his Honda on the front row. At Sky now moves up into 9th place. Jake Goodwin into 12th. Sean Pauli into 9th. As you can see here, a lot of ramping up here in this qualifying session. More drivers finding improvements in lap time. Southern Reza is not looking at any improvements. He is literally looking at 5 to 6 cars literally in front of him. So he's not going to see any improvements unless he decides he needs to back off and think of pitting. And right now, it's not the case for a lot of these drivers to come into the pits right now. Alex Grant, of course, not taking any further part in this qualifying session, as he's still currently safely beached into the gravel trap unless other drivers go off. And you can see here more improvements there from out of nowhere. Ri Liu currently up in 8th position. A marked improvement for him, as he currently places his Sakamata Chloe number 96 Honda in 8th position, currently 5th amongst Hondas. And as for Team Nissan right now, we do want to mention that Fumi, being outside the Suyo positions, currently is in 9th, and Tanara also outside the Suyo in 7th. Cheon Shakif Reza also in the top spots in qualifying, especially for Shakif Reza, who I believe has never scored a Hololive GT3 pole position before. He has scored a Hololive GT3, he has scored a Formula Hololive pole position from my memory, and has won 2, and then has also used his savvy strategy calls to win 2 Formula Hololive races. Meanwhile, Richie Rock continues to improve. He is now in 5th place. Ed Sky, I believe, continues to improve as well. I think that's Fabio Mendes too, currently in 9th, seeing improvements too. Then Goyana comes in for his pit stop. Let's see where he places himself into. So Reza has already passed the lap car, well, not exactly a lap car, but the slower car of Kaminari Reba, who is currently down in 25th. And oh my goodness, So Byung-eun beats Shakif Reza's lap time by about 0.05 of a second to place that Shiranui Flare number 20 on provisional pole. As we mentioned here, Nissan's needing a performance here in Okayama, and performance they needed, and the performance they have. Currently, we have the Nissan front row lockout once again. Yu Cheon currently is in 4th, Fumi 7th, Rod 8th, and Tanara is in 11th. A lot of these Nissans currently inside the top 10 positions. Plaza Tamasha is the fastest Lexus inside 15th, and right now the Lexus drivers are absolutely struggling. Around 5 minutes to go before the end of this qualifying session here, and as you can see here, Shadon Reza is still stuck behind traffic. He needs a marked improvement over his opponents here. He still has 3 more cars that he needs to overtake for Shazrin to get himself back into a serious position in contention for the race win. Of course, Shazrin Reza currently is in a battle with Raijin Kaczynski, and fortunately for Shazrin, Raijin is currently in 25th, but obviously in his mind, he really wants that comfortable gap in front, and right now, will can Shazrin Reza at least improve? The answer is going to be yes. Shazrin Reza will get himself into just a whisker into the top 10. Riba is also going to get himself into a whisker inside the top 20. Already, he's already inside the top 20. Vlasa Damasha improves to get himself into 14th place. Alton Tanarao is being stuck behind Muhammad Cashew. Now currently in the Tsunamaki Watame number 3 Lexus. Althusser and Tanarao looking to make a splash. And right now, Althusser and Tanarao is going to make his move into the pit lane. He thinks, yep, I'm going to need to find some clean air opportunity. I'm going to pit right now and hope that I could get pit stop opportunities, clean air opportunities, and an open space for me to get myself into high qualified positions. Currently, Tanarao is in 16th place, and he's looking to find ways to improve. The current order inside the top 2, So Byung-eun with a very, very surprising run here, and as you can see here, a very, very surprising run into pole position. So Byung-eun just beating Shakib Reza by around 500ths of a second. Jake Goodwin continues to improve. He now is inside the top 10. Right now, our eyes are going to be set onto Althusser and Tanarao if he's able to get himself back on track soon. Shazrin Reza is, of course, still somewhat stuck behind traffic here. And right now, he's still embroiled in a battle between Kamen and Reba. Shazrin Reza just needs one clean lap for him to properly get himself in position for him to get inside the top 10 right now. And right now, Shazrin Reza currently in 13th place is not going to be improving on that first sector. So it's Nissan's day to properly. It's now looking to be Nissan's time to shine here, as they have been second best throughout the 2023 season. Daniel Barger, of course, being the only race winner. And speaking of Nissan, Tyler Williams, 137.36 of a second faster than So Byung-eun. Tyler Williams now shows up in the provisional pole for Amane Kanata. Well, fortunately for Nissan right now, this season has been pretty good for them up to this point. 4 drivers currently in the Suyo, and also they have Rustin Croscio, who is basically in his breakout season right now after, well, it is his debut season nonetheless, but he is showing that he's got pace. Obviously, he's racing at home in Japan, and he is just enjoying the local scenery. And looking at Althusser and Tanarao right now, who is about to go for one final lap. And speaking of laps here, Danilo Goyena, more lap time improvements. 131.039, if I'm not mistaken. That is for Danilo Goyena to place his Usada Pecora number 11 Honda in the top 4 spots, and that makes him the fastest Honda currently in the field. Althusser and Tanarao coming across the final 2 corners here in Okayama circuit for him to start a new lap. For Nekomata Okayu, Althusser and Tanarao knows that he needs to perform in this lap for him to get himself into the top 10, maybe top 5, and maybe a pole position could be on the cards for him. Althusser and Tanarao, number 5, Nekomata Okayu Nissan, coming into turn 2, Williams' corner, and now into Moss S. He's looking pretty okay there, coming into the first sector timing beam. He's only just about 5/10 behind on that first sector at Atwood. Trying to get the best exit possible, trying to stretch his legs as much as possible. Coming into the back straight, Rustin Carrasco improves his lap time. He's now currently inside 16. Daniel Barger still struggling outside the top 26. 100-meter board coming into the hairpin. Break right over there. Althusser and Tanarao coming into Redmond and Piper. At least that's what I remember the corner names are. Revolver and Piper, and then coming into Redmond and Hobbs. He's still only 5/10 behind. He should be good for about 7th place if he can continue to put on such a decent looking, actually not a decent performance, a good performance for him. Currently, he only has 2 corners left to navigate for him to try to place Nakamata Akayu Nissan in a super favorable position. 1 corner left, and that should be it for Alison Tanaro. It's just pedal to the metal at this point. Alison Tanaro, where will he place his Nakamata Akayu Nissan? It's going to be 8th. Alison Tanaro shows up, and we're looking into more drivers as the lap times here. Jeff Clark down in 24th. Ajikazinski 22nd. Hofumi is nowhere to be seen outside of top 10. He's currently in 10th right now. Mama Cashier down in 29th. Oh, and Crystal Salman gets himself into 7th place with a late qualifying improvement. Daniel Barger not showing any improvements whatsoever in his craft. He's currently in 30th place. Wasakarachi improves into 11th place. Alongside more drivers improving, we're going to see here Sean Pauli improve to get himself into 19th place. Sakaji Mikolev does not improve either. Shakib Reza beats So Byung-eun by about 800ths of a second. And Danilo Goyena with a pole lap out of nowhere, 135.62. Danilo Goyena, war criminal off the stage, professional idol on stage. Danilo Goyena is Usada Pecora. That's who she is. And El Goyena puts his car on provisional pole. Ed Sky is in 5th. Alex Grant has now got himself back up on track. He's now into the 15th spot. And that should be it for qualifying session. That should be it for qualifying. And a surprise end to this qualifying session. Danilo Goyena shows his legs. He now puts his Usada Pecora car up pole position. He is your pole sitter for the 2024 Okayama 400 race. Now that out of the way, let's take a look into the starting lineup here in the Okayama 400 as we're about to get this starting lineup underway. Danilo Goyena, of course, currently scores his first pole position for Usada Pecora in Hololive GT3 with a 135.62. Surprising everyone, even myself, because we weren't expecting Goyena to actually beat the Nissan, and there he is. And then we also have Tyler Williams currently now having his best ever qualifying in Hololive GT3 with a 2nd place spot here in Okayama. He now places 2nd for Amane Kanata. Shakib Reza sits 3rd place for Momo Suzunene in the number 77 Nissan alongside So Byung-eun. His debut race, currently placing himself 4th for Shiranui Flair. Sky 5th in his best Hololive GT3 start for Kazama Iroha, alongside Jeff Rohan 6th for Tokuyami Toa. Yu Cheon currently 7th in her Hololive GT3 debut in 7th. Just want to remind you all that Jeff Rohan is currently the defending race winner. Let's see if he can defend it from 6th place. Koso Salman showcasing that he can also qualify pretty well inside the top 10. He is now 8th for ASCII in the number 12 Honda. Ari Nakamura continues his consistent run inside the top 10 in the Akai Hato car. She is in 9th alongside Alison Tanara with his very good qualifying session for Nakamata Akayu in 10th. Sakaji Mikolev 11 for Sakura Miko, in 11 for Sakura Miko, 35. Sakaji Mikolev, he is. And then Russian Karasho 12 for Lapos Darkness in the car number 39. Hofumi 13 in his effort to get himself back into the Suyo for Topinasaur alongside Fabio Mendes 14th for Hakui Koyori. Alex Grant currently 15th after his time in the gravel trap. He's now placed his car in the 15th position right at the depth for Yukihano Lami, car number 63 alongside Richie Rod, who is doing pretty okay in 16th for Shirakami Fubuki. Ryu starts 17th for Sakamata Chloe, currently being beaten by his Hololux rival Fabio Mendes alongside. And then there's Jake Goodwin, 18th for Kamimio, currently inside the top 10. Let's see if he can limit his damages inside 18th place. Kizura Leo, 19th for Murasaki Shion, alongside Muhammad Shazin Reza, 13th. Shazin Reza having his unorthodox qualifying session right now, just wanting to get himself into a good start here. and just trying to be consistent in the finish. His target is the top 10. Sean Paul starts 21st for Inugami Korone in car number 56 alongside Callan Gibbons, actually the fastest Lexus in Hololive GT3 right now. Obviously they have not been showing a lot of pace so far. Anyways, we also have Vladislav Damashnev, Raja Kaczynski sitting 23rd and 24th for Aki Rosenthal and Yusuke Choko respectively. For Vladislav Damashnev, he needs to perform this race. Aki Rosenthal is going to perform her live concert in her birthday. So Vladislav Damashnev has every reason to at least bring up a good performance here for Aki Rosenthal. And we have Jeff Clark 25th for Nakiri Ayame in car number 18 in 25th. Alongside Lorenzo Ricci 26th for Hosho Marine. Maverick Ducian 27 for Omar Bonca. He is one of the lesser performing Nissans currently in the field, alongside Michael Turner 28th for Shuragai Noel in the 14th row. Row 15 will be Kamine Riba in 29th, alongside Mama Cashew 30th for Tsunamaki Watame. One of the surprising Nissans currently down in 31st and 32nd respectively. Daniel Barger currently in the number 41 Hoshima Nissan Nissan currently down in 31st. And then we have Johansson for 32nd for Natsuhiro Matsuri. Ali Fatoyo is currently the lowest performance Nissan currently in the field at 33rd. Also Rim Olgo, who will start last in the Okayama 400. And right now, we're going to go for a short break here before we start the race. Just want to have a short break here. Anyways, just wanted to share with you my thoughts on this pre-race preview here as we're about to get this race properly underway here here in Okayama for the Okayama 400. Obviously, we got a good race on our hands. We got lots of talented drivers currently on top, but right now the big surprise has got to be Danilo Goyena in car number 11 for Sara Pecora. Now, there's every reason to believe that Goyena can come out of this track a winner at the end of the day. He has shown that he is able to showcase a lot of raw racing speed, especially in the Altopolis 400 where he was challenging for the race win alongside Sean Pauli and Jeff Rohan. He was up there until he made a mistake. Let's hope that he could run a mistake-free race at the top and see if he can bring Usada Pecora her first win in Hololive GT3. So anyways, let's take a look into the 34 drivers who will start the Hololive GT3 race here in Okayama. The Okayama 400 about to come up right about now. And as you can see here, Danilo Goyena currently sits on pole position. And right alongside him is Tyler Williams on the inside in second place. And the race finally gets underway, and it looks to me that Goyena has a very, very good start at the start line. And then right alongside him, that is actually Tyler Williams, who doesn't have a pretty good start here. And there's contact immediately. That's So Byung-eun, and So Byung-eun is gonna come back across the field, collects multiple other drivers. Already a nightmare start for some of the Team Nissan drivers. There's some argy-bargy between Alex Grant and Richie Rod. Lots of chaos right at the start. At turn 1, there was already contact at the start. Looks to me that Shake Breza made contact with So Byung-eun at the start, but it looks to me that there's no damage from Shake Breza. But right now, Goyena leads Williams, Rohan in 3rd, Shake Breza 4th, At Sky currently in 5th, Mikolev 6th, Salman 7th, Cheon 8th, Fumi Nakamura battling for 9th position, and currently 9th belongs to Nakamura that one time. Now Hofumi has it. Hofumi is in 9th, and Nakamura running out of top 10. So much positions being swapped over. So Byung-eun being one of the biggest losers on that race start here. Let's take a look into the rocket start briefly here, and you can see here So Byung-eun has lost 9 positions at the start. And then we also take a look at Mikolev, who has gained 11 positions at the start, being the opportune driver that he is. You can see that's where a lot of the changes in the field are at right now. And currently we're looking into the other drivers here. Danilo Goyena currently leads the Okayama 400 right now. 0.6 of a second over Tyler Williams. Jeff Rohan currently in 3rd. And that's Shadid Reza! Shadid Reza has spun! he spun out. Looks like he's made contact with someone, and that should be him out of this Okayama 400 race win. He should be able to get himself back into the racetrack, but this is a huge surprise to the driver running in second in Hololive GT3. What a heartbreak for Silent Reza currently. He just wants to at least be in the Suyo. He's doing everything he can to bring the Lunites to a good result, but right now there was some kerfuffle. There was some kerfuffles in the midfield, and that have unfortunately costed Shazrin absolutely dearly. He's now down in last place right now, and at the same time you can see here Sky and Shaki Reza going side by side. What should be a battle for 4th place. Ed Sky was actually trying to pile on the pressure on Shaki Reza, but Shaki Reza managing to defend quite well. And now Sakaji Mikalev is gonna try to give Ed Sky a run for his money, and now Ed Sky is gonna give Shaki Reza a run for his money. And as you can see here, both Nissans going side by side. And Mike Knight, it's not gonna look good if they're not careful. Both Nissan drivers trying to have a mutual respect for each other, and right now both of them just trying to hang it around. Salman goes off and just has to be held up there. Fumi is gonna be overtaking him soon, and now you can also get to see Kurashio overtaking Irene Nakamura. There you can see on the radar, and now you can see here Hofumi trying to go down the inside of Crystal Salman, down the inside into turn 1, and as you can see here, Fumi tries to hang around the inside, but it's going to be the outside line coming into turn 2, but Fumi is forcefully put himself ahead of Salman. Salman's now dropped into 9, and you can see the amount of damage on that number 12 Aski Honda. As you can see here, Aski was also heavily involved on that start line incident, well, turn 1 incident for Salman, and you can see here, Nakamura nearly hopping onto the curb way too aggressively, and that almost costed him dear. Frantic racing action in Hololive GT3. Shaki Reza not continuing any further in this race. He is now just stuck in the pits, not continuing any further in this race. He will be the first retirement of this Okayama 400. What a crazy start it has been for Shaki Reza. Anyways, looking into Daniel Barger, currently now up into 25th place, currently battling against his fellow Gen 0 teammate Callum Gibbons, and now Daniel Barger currently up in 25th place. And my goodness, the championship has the championship complexion has absolutely changed in a blink of an eye. With Shazin Reza now out of this race and currently Team Nissan performing, there's going to be a huge change on who is in the Suyo and who's not. But at least Shazin Reza can know that he has performed well in these first 2 races. He will at least breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that he has actually had a very good points cushion, just about 400 points above the 21st place Daniel Barger, but obviously that can evaporate very, very quickly depending on who wins this race and who is in the top 10. And right now, Shazin Reza can only hope for the best, that he is just able to just still hanging around inside the Suya positions. And speaking of positions, let's take a look into the race field monitor to see who will pit early, who will pit late. Looking at Sakaiji Mikala, he will pit early in this race. Richie Rott as well, he's going to pit early. Ali Fatoy is going to pit early. Looks like there's a side-by-side battle between Fabio Mendes and Alex Grant here. Alex Grant coming into Revolver and Piper on the inside of Fabio Mendes here. They're both going side-by-side. They're nearly making contact between each other. Now, you can see here Alex Grant trying to hang around the inside of Piper and having a good run on Fabio Mendes coming into Hops. Well, coming later into Hops there. And now they're in Hops, and now you can see here Fabio Mendes coming in to defend his position around the inside of Hops, coming into Mike Knight and into the final corner. Oh, nearly making contact, these two. Alex Grant nearly going off wide. Ed Sky not showing his personal best right now. And as you can see, is trading blows between each other there, Mendes and Grant. Looks like there's a good amount of damage there for Sobyong-un currently in 13th right now. Alto Santana also having a massive amount of damage on his front end. Danilo Goyena still leads this race. Tyler Williams currently in second, so apologies here, and then Jeff Rohan currently in third. Right now, the battle for the race lead extends to the top 5, and they're only separated by around 3 seconds. That's what we want to see here in Hololive GT3. Lots of frantic racing action. Meanwhile, we have Richie Rod coming around the inside of So Byung-eun for what should be 13th place. Meanwhile, there's another battle between Kurashio and Nakamura. Nakamura at what should be Revolver and Piper. Just hanging around the inside there, Ira Nakamura against Kurashio. And then coming into Redman and Hobbs. Looks like there's more battles at the back here. Rod and Byung-eun still side by side. Also at the same time, DuCM and Clark. We're just spoiled for choice on which battles that we need to focus here. And now we can see here Tyler Williams and Danilo Goyena trading blows in the race lead, as Danilo Goyena is the first to make his response as he now comes into the pits. And now looking into Ed Sky, going down the inside of Jeff Rohan for what should be a gross second place into turn 1, and coming into Williams' corner. Hanging around the outside there, Ed Sky. Jeff Rohan really trying to attack, and having a very good run off of Williams. Jeff Rohan manages to defend, as Sky is not going to be under pressure from Shakib Reza. More drivers coming to pit early, and for what we're seeing here, I think these drivers might have pitted way too early. Again, Mikolaev, yes, Mikolaev has pitted way too early. Same goes for Danilo Goyena. Jeff Rohan might still have 5 laps on his field to go. I think Danilo Goyena has made a grave mistake of pitting way too early in this race, and now Goyena is going to have to pay for it as Shakib Reza makes his move down the inside of Ed Sky at the hairpin. Now coming into Revolver and Piper, it's now Ed Sky's inside line. Shakib Reza is going to try to hang around the outside, try to have a better exit speed at the final corner at the Piper, and coming into Redman. And now you can see here they're still side by side. Shakib Reza and Ed Sky, they're not giving an inch between each other. Meanwhile, there has been a switch of positions further back. And now you can see here Shakib Reza trying to hang around the inside of Hobbs. And as you can see here, Shakib Reza successfully makes the pass on Ed Sky. Meanwhile, Sean Pauly and Alex Grant battling for what should be 13th place. Alex Grant has the inside of Hobbs, but can Sean Pauly hanging around the outside? The answer should be just about yes. He's just about on the outside line. And right now, Alex Grant has placed his cars well enough for him to be able to defend Sean Pauly, but he has had a poor exit off of the final corner. Sean Pauly is going to peel around the inside to make his move into 13th place. What a move from Sean Pauly. Updates at the front here. Ed Sky trying to catch up to Mohamed Shakib Reza, but right now he is just not too close enough. And now we have also Kizuhara Leo and Ri Liu battling side by side for position. Leo is now up into 15th place. Every single one of these drivers are going to need to try to make use of the championship leaders' misfortunes. And right now, looking into the top 10, it's as competitive as ever, with Team Nissan currently leading this race. Tyler Williams up front. Tyler Williams currently having a pretty good amount of fuel here. He's going to pit midway. So hopefully his mid strategy between an overcut and an undercut strategy should pay off very handsomely for this young Brit driver. Anyways, other drivers that we also want to talk about here. Kuzusaman continuing very well in that number 12 ASCII Honda, despite having a very wounded car in 7th place. You can see here the front windshield has been absolutely cracked, and at least Salman is still able to see what is in front of him. Meanwhile, Tyler Williams having no interruptions from Danilo Goyena whatsoever, and given that Goyena has made a mistake on pitting way too early, now that Goyena has to pit again to have a full tank of fuel once again, Tyler Williams is going to enjoy his extended time in the race lead for now. You can see here Tyler Williams absolutely set the fastest lap of the race, as we've seen here. Jeff Rohan just trying to catch his Gen 4 teammate. He's currently unable to do so. And screw that, actually, because Shakib Reza has actually caught up with Jeff Rohan. And Jeff Rohan obviously not having enough pace to battle Tyler Williams right now. Shakib Reza currently in third. Meanwhile, Danilo Goyena with the fastest lap of the race. 1:30.962 for Goyena, the Filipino, as he is currently at the back of the field, currently representing Usada Pecora. Jay Goodwin 33rd, Richie Rod 32nd, it's actually Jim Mikolev 31st. Then Okayama actually manages to exit just behind the current lead lap traffic here, but then Okayama, of course, having to pit once again. He's going to continue banging in fast laps in the hopes that he's able to at least get himself into a position for the race win later. Meanwhile, DuCM and Damasha battling side by side. Bonca, of course, being one of the guests for Aki Rosenthal's live concert tonight. DuCM beats Damasha at the moment. He's currently in 18th place. Kyle Williams currently leading the Okayama 400 race as we speak right now. Jeff Rohan currently under pressure from Mohammad Shakib Reza, currently in 3rd place. Shakib Reza is absolutely relishing this battle here with Jeff Rohan, currently in 2nd. I believe Nenechi and Toa have some connections between each other. They have performed with each other during some live segments here. And for Shakib Reza, he's absolutely enjoying the part that he's going to beat his best ever finishing position in Hololive GT3. His best finish, of course, came in the Suzuka short race, Suzuka East race. I believe it was Split B race 2 when he beat the Osas Robato number 48 car on the final lap to get into the podium position. Meanwhile, Yu Chaeyeon going into the inside line of her fellow Holox teammate, that's Ed Sky, currently in 4th place. Meanwhile, we have Kurashio and Salman training both between each other once again here. Kuzasov Salman is going to try to fend off Rasim Kurashio with a damaged windshield, and currently Salman manages to defend for now. Looking at Chaeyeon and Sky still side by side for the 4th spot, and as you can see here, Chaeyeon has the inside line. Sky's gonna hang around the outside. Who's gonna have the better exit? Both of them are still neck and neck, side by side, I think, but it looks to me that Yu Chaeyeon just might be just a whisker ahead. But it looks to me that, look at this, Ed Sky peeling down the inside on the final corner, trying to give a lot of surprises to Yu Chaeyeon, and now that is very amazing driving from Ed Sky to fool Chaeyeon into attacking way too early, and that is now going to open the door for Chaeyeon to be overtaken by Hofumi. Oh, and as you can see here, Crystal Salman just currently hanging around in 8th place right now. Just wanted to check around the fuel loads right now. Ali Fartoyo is already peeling into the pit. Shadran Reza, of course, still stuck inside the pit lane. That's, of course, his race over. He hasn't had a lap 1 retirement, I believe, in his entire Hololive GT3 career. He has had one in Formula Hololive where he basically crashed at the start of the Sepang Grand Prix Split A finale, but this is his first in Hololive GT3, and of course, for Shadran Reza, that has got to sting for him. Meanwhile, Kyle Williams currently extending his lead in the Amane Kanata number 57 Nissan, currently in the race lead, obviously having a lot of control on his number 57 Nissan. Of course, if you want to look into his helmet, you might not be able to see it at first glance, but if you check the right side, you should be able to see the Angel Halo on the left side of his helmet if you're able to look closely. Meanwhile, we also have Jeff Rohan and Shakib Reza coming into the pit lane right now. I think they have pitted late enough that they should be able to come out of this pit stop with a full tank of fuel, and that should be the case for Mohammad Shakib Reza. And actually the answer is going to be no. Looking at Jeff Rohan and Shakib Reza, they haven't filled their tanks to the brim just yet. I think they have made a mistake there of not filling the fuel tanks to the max, but even if they do fill the tanks to the max, it's not going to be enough. So there's got to be tough luck for both Rohan and Shakib Reza. And for the remaining Nissan drivers who are still up in front, we're looking at Yu Chaeyeon currently under pressure from Yu Chaeyeon currently putting the pressure on Ed Sky for 2nd place here. Down the inside goes Yu Chaeyeon, and oh, you can see here she's clipped the curb and she has nearly spun her car at the hairpin. That allows some breathing space for Sky. Meanwhile, we have Alex Grant and Sean Pauly going side by side for position here, and you can see here Pauly trying to find a way past Grant for 11th. Oh, still going side by side. These two drivers coming into Piper. Coming into Redmond here. They're still side by side, but it looks like Sean Pauli has a very good exit off of Piper and coming into this Redmond corner. Sean Pauli down the inside, nearly clipping the curves way too aggressively. And that allows Alex Grant to put his nose up in front, but it looks like both of them are still gonna go neck and neck coming into Mike Knight. That's where some headaches happen for, especially for Mohamed Shah and Reza. Ooh, and you can see here they're still side by side, these two. And it's Alex Grant's position at the moment. And Tyler Williams, though, having a lot of control in his race, already 15 seconds, or rather 14 seconds ahead of Ed Sky. Ed Sky, of course, not looking to pit later in this race up until the next 12 laps. But for Shakib Reza and Jeff Rohan, they're going to have to pit again, which is an absolute shame because they've had some very wonderful racing up in so far. And for Tyler Williams, he's not going to pit until the next 14 laps, so he's going to pit in the mid stages of this race. And yes, meanwhile, we're looking at Cheon and Etskai embroiled in their own battles once again. Still side by side here. Cheon trying to attack Etskai once again. Cheon knows she has the faster car, and that she has practiced it to her full extent, and she's now placed her Takane and Louis Nissan up into second. Tyler Williams' fastest lap of the race so far, 130.875. It looks like they made contact between. Looks like there was contact between Kurashio and Fumi, which forced Fumi off wide, and that's gonna cost the trio, Kurashio, Fumi, and Salman, loads of time against them. Meanwhile, looking into race field monitor for these drivers, Kurashio will be pitting quite late into this race, 24 laps to be exact. And then looking at Hofumi is going to pit in the next 15 laps. Chris Salman is going to pit in the next 17 laps. So they're also going to go for the overcut strategy. Coming into Atwood Corner, and you can see here Kurashio just hanging around in fourth place. Salman thinking of a move around the outside of Atwood, but that hasn't come to be. Salman has lost a considerable amount of time against Ho Fu Mi. Tyler Williams in absolute control of this race. I believe, if you want to go back, the last win for Amane Kanata in Hololive GT3 came in at the Suzuka East race, and I believe it was the Split A race 1 of the Suzuka East round in the split season. But meanwhile, we have Daniel Goyena, of course, still pulling in some heroics with his own fastest lap. 136.14 for the Osada Pecora driver in car number 11. He's currently outside the top 26. Meanwhile, we have Fabio Mendes and Alex Grant going side by side. Looks like these two drivers are not going to give each other some room, but they are going to give each other some room after all, because if they don't give each other room, there's surely going to be contact. Meanwhile, Fabio Mendes had a pretty awful run off of Hobbs and into Mike Knight. Fabio Mendes just barely able to defend Sean Pauli there. Let's take a look into the progress charts in the middle of this pit stop strategy here. A lot of drivers gaining a lot of positions. Shakib Reza and Jeff Rohan, of course, losing a lot of positions at the moment. That's only because they have pitted. And then there's also a few more drivers who have already pitted, like Daniel Goyena. So let's take a look into the situation at the back. We're looking at Isakaji Mikhailov currently in 31st. Richard Rock currently down in 32nd. They've also pitted as well. Daniel Goyena having a lot of clean air in front. He's going to try to make use of it as much as he can before he pits inevitably for a second time. Alfa Toyo also showing there's a good amount of damage in his number 9 Minato Aqua car. Daniel Barger, though, currently in 19th place despite starting pretty low on the grid. Well, we're going to also be looking at a side-by-side battle between Jeff Clark and Vlasa Demashnev. We have Johansson full battling Jeff Rohan there for position there, but it's going to be Jeff Rohan's advantage as it stands. Kaczynski and DCM also embroiled in a battle between each other, and now you can see, ooh, and as you can see they're going side by side here, and then just you can see DCM just being slightly ahead at the exit of Hobbs, and that is DCM currently in 15th place. Callum Gibbons and Daniel Bauer, Callum Gibbons and Daniel Barger trying to battle each other out side by side, and you can see here Gibbons having a pretty good launch there off of the final corner to place his Roboco Lexus in front. But of course Daniel Barger is not going to take a line down. That's a 3 wide battle for a position. Now you can see here that's Ribba, Sinful, and Rohan. Looks like both of them are just going to be able to survive for now. Looks like there is going to be a loss of RG Bargy. Still 3 wide at turn 2. Jeff Rohan sparing no one on those first 2 corners. Trying to hang on to whatever position he wants. Makes contact with both Ribba and Sinful. Fortunately, both of them are still able to continue. Danilo Goyena, fastest lap of the race, 1:34.551. That was crazy between Rohan and Sinful and Ribba to go 3 wide like that, make contact, and still be able to continue. Bit of a love tap, these 3 drivers, but fortunately these drivers know their limits, so they're able to keep on racing without crashing each other. That is not the case for Shazam Reza on lap 1 because he was being spun out. Looking at Sky right now, currently having a race of his life, currently in 3rd place for Kazama Iroha. Wasim Karashi also providing a very decent performance, currently up in 4th place, already building up a gap against Hofu Mi and Crystal Salman. And Crystal Salman currently trying to find a way past Hofu Mi, who is actually quite off the pace actually. Salman just desperately trying to make the pass on Hofu Mi. But at the same time, he's trying to pass him at the wrong possible places, and that will open the door for Irie Nakamura to pounce on the opportunity. Liu going side by side with with Kizara Leo, obviously the senpai against the Kohai, Shion against Chloe. Chloe has looked up to Murasaki Shion on multiple occasions there, and now you can see here Ryu just going side by side with Leo for 13th place. Side by side between the two, and it looks to me that it's going to be Ryu winning this race so far. And also we have Lorenzo Ricci and Daniel Barger going side by side. Daniel Barger just hanging around the inside, pushes Lorenzo Ricci off. But Lorenzo Ricci should have the slight advantage at Piper. But coming into Redmond, Barger might just have the slight advantage in terms of getting his car slightly ahead. Forces Ricci off the wide outside line, but it'll be the inside line for Ricci. But if Barger can hang it around the outside, which he does, he should be able to still be side by side by Mike Knight. Ooh, side by side between the two, but there's still enough space given between them. And Barger trying to have a very good launch off of the final corner, trying to make use of the slipstream. But it looks to me that Lorenzo Ricci placed his car absolutely correctly to place his Hosho Marine number 6 inside the top 20. Chaka Reza needing to pit once again, if I'm not mistaken. Same goes for Jeff Rohan in the next 4 laps. Not the race they're looking for. Meanwhile, So Byung-eun is going to try to fix his race that came undone at the start at turn 1. Currently embroiled in a battle between Alcester and Tanarao, currently in 9th place, now up into 8th place down in Tanarao. Goyena, obviously now being lapped. If I just wanted to remind you, Goyena has finally made his pit stop to basically have him run until the end of the race. He's now currently in 30th place. The pole sitter currently in 30th. Oh, there's a spin! Alcester and Tanarao! You see there, it was coming. Both So Byung-eun and Tanaro battling side by side. Mike Knight. I think So Byung-eun pushed Antanaro into the gravel trap, and Antanaro wanted to find some space as much as possible, but he found that there was none. He went onto the gravel trap. How unlucky can Antanaro be? If it's not the car, it's Antanaro, and if it's not Antanaro, it's the car, and if it's not both of them, it's gotta be something else. And unfortunately for Antanaro, that has got to be the case. Antanaro currently out of this race at the moment here. He's currently stuck in where he is at the moment. Hope he's not really impeding other drivers coming into pit entry, as he's currently stuck inside the middle of the final, in the middle of Mike Knight and the final corner. Right now, no drivers are coming into the pits. As you can see here, Antanaro's car is still being stranded. How unlucky can you be, Alison Antanaro? Alison Antanaro, we did mention that he needs a good performance here in Okayama for him to get his way into the Suyo, and unfortunately another accident pushes Antanaro off. But it has to especially hurt for Antanaro here. This is a race where he knows he's got pace, he knows he's got performance in that number 5 Nissan. And unfortunately for him, it just keeps on going undone. And as you can see here, Antanaro is currently doomed to be in the second last position, one position behind Mohammad Shazrin Reza. One spot ahead of Mohammad Shazrin Reza, who actually spun out on lap 1. You have to feel for the lad. You have to feel for the guy. 3 races in this qualifiers. That's 75 of the total possible amount of points earned, and that also means that he is now going to take no further part in this race. He's joining Mohammad Shazrin Reza on the sidelines in the DNF list, and that surely means that Antanaro's chances in the Suyo have got to come. Well, at the very least, if we want to be optimistic, Antanaro's chances in the Suyo are going to be as slim as paper, but there's still a realistic chance that he might still make it into the Suyo, but he needs a win at the final race of the qualifier, which is going to be the Capture the Moment 500 at Fuji, for him to get himself into the Suyo. With his fellow Nissan teammates currently inside the top 10, anything can still happen. But of course, for Alison Antanaro, that's gotta hurt so much for him. Gotta feel. Anyways, Calvin Gibbons and Lorenzo Ricci battling each other side by side. Lorenzo Ricci hangs it around the outside to try to find a spot, but Lorenzo Ricci, obviously having that poor exit off of that final corner, is gonna be open for a counterattack by Daniel Barker, currently in 20th. We have yet to pass through the halfway stage of this race. Lots of drama in the first 20 laps. Of course, Shazrin Reza second place currently in the championship. In the qualifiers out of this race after being in contact with another driver after Mike Knight at turn 1. And also we have So Byung-eun and Alison Antanaro not having the mutual understanding that they have. Looks like So Byung-eun pushed Antanaro off wide, but Antanaro seems to have understeered into the gravel trap, and that put him into a spin and out of the Okayama 400. So much woes for Alison Antanaro, as we mentioned here. He is absolutely dejected right now. He knows that he should be able to finish these 3 races, but without any problems. But he just isn't able to do so. Like in Sportsline Sugo, he was involved in an accident between SP in and SP out in the mid stages of the race. At the start of the Autopolis 400, he was involved in a crash at the end of lap 1, which puts him out of contention for a good amount of points. And here in Okayama, in his arguably best race yet, he made his unfortunate accident. He had an unfortunate accident with So Byung-eun, which forces him out of the race. Meanwhile, we have Jeff Rohan and Mawashaki Reza coming into the pits once again. The pistol strategy hadn't come to plan for them. So there's a new dynamic in the top spots right now with Williams, Cheon, and Etskai leading a Nissan 1-2-3. Wait for it. Kurashi and Fumi 4th and 5th, making it a top 5 lockout for the Nissans. And just to remind you, Yu Cheon, Ho Fumi, So Byung-eun, Maverick Ducey, and these, these drivers, as we mentioned here, actually Ducey, they are currently in the Zako positions. And speaking of Cheon, who is currently coming into the pits, with their placement as they are right now, they should be in a good position to get themselves into the studio. Salman, of course, still having a pretty wounded car in that number 12 ASCII Honda, also doing very well to still be the best Honda in the field right now. He's currently in 5th, and just a bit of a background here, because Salman has had his first podium in Hololive GT3 at this very track in the Okayama 500 finale Hololive GT3 race of the 2023 season. He capped off a pretty good season for ASCII with a 3rd place finish, putting himself in 4th in the overall and postseason Hololive GT3 standings. Cheon exits in 10th place with no repairs to the car as of yet, but you can see Sean Pauly got shuffled off by the oncoming Yu Cheon, and now Ri Liu takes the opportunity to pass not just Sean Pauly, but Yu Cheon in just about a sector. And now you can see here Ri Liu having a very, very good launch off of Atwood. That should be Ri Liu securing the top 10 spot, but not before Yu Cheon has a counterattack planned. And now you can see here Cheon going around the inside of Ri Liu at the hairpin, but it becomes the outside at Revolver and Piper. Ri Liu coming around the inside. Meanwhile, there's also another battle between Kizaru Liu and Sean Pauly, but we're going to focus on the two Holux cars. Ri Liu now ahead of Yu Cheon, now under pressure from Sean Pauly. Sean Pauly diving down the inside of Yu Cheon. Still, it's Yu Cheon's advantage as she has had a smart placement on that number 61 car. Nearly causing a lot of miscommunication, causing an accident there with that miscommunication between Cheon and Pauly. Pauly thought Cheon was coming into the pits, but I don't know if Pauly knew that Pauly has already come into the pits. Etskai comes out of this track being beaten by Yu Cheon. The undercut strategy doing Yu Cheon pretty much a good amount of favors. There's a lot of favors for Yu Cheon for that undercut strategy. Beat Etskai on merit by around 4 positions too. Meanwhile, the gaps between Williams and Kurashi just keep on expanding. Tyler Williams running a very, very emphatic race at the front, using his strategy skills to good effect, and to put his Amane Kanata Nissan in that number 57 to good use. And now having a 27-second lead over Kasim Kurashio, he's going to look to keep on building up on his advantage, as Ri Liu still is on a side-by-side battle with Yu Cheon for 9th place. Yu Cheon going side-by-side. And still at Hobbs, you can see here Yu Cheon still defending that inside line. She knows where to place the car to force Ri Liu in a compromising position. By compromising position, I mean a position where it's not favored for him to attack. But obviously, he's looking to find an opportunity himself. He has had actually a pretty good exit off of that final corner. Same goes for Kizuhara Leo. They're both side by side against each other. Ayu Nakamura just served her pit stop. Leo and Pauly still side by side. And as you can see here, the battles between the Korone and Shion Hondas just keep on coming. Kizuhara Leo now ahead of Sean Pauly. And now you can see here Ayu Nakamura going into the gravel trap. That is Jay Goodwin on the gravel trap. He's now down in 32nd. Ai Nakamura continuing her decent performance is currently up in 14th place. She has already made her pit stop. Kaczynski and Domashchev going side by side between each other. Now, Domashchev is going to be under pressure from Jeff Clark. And also we have Ai Nakamura under pressure from Raija Kaczynski. Nakamura trying to warm her tires up, but Raija Kaczynski already has to warm her tires. But remember, Kaczynski has yet to pit, so Nakamura really needs to clear Raija Kaczynski as soon as possible to have as much clean air as possible for her to gain as much lap times as possible. So you see here double side-by-side action once again between Revolver and Piper. It's between Kaczynski and Nakamura and Domashchev and Clark. Oh, you can see here Jeff Clark going side by side against Domashchev here. Lots of racing action now. It's Callum Gibbons and Daniel Barger once again for the battle for 19th place. Barger not trying to hang around the outside of Callum Gibbons. And, oh, you can see here there's a bit of a miscommunication there, nearly resulting in contact as Jeff Clark finally comes into the pit lane. Meanwhile, Gibbons almost just about outsmarting Barger for 18th place as Clark comes into the pits. Just wanted to check around. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Cal Gibbons and Lorenzo Ricci side by side between the two. Coming into turn 2. They're still side by side. Coming into Williams and into Atwood, into Moss Ass and into Atwood. You can see here this bit of a battle, a bit of a side by side battle here. Coming up here now it's Riba against Barger. Side by side between the two once again. Barger about losing positions. Tyler Williams finally deciding that it's time for him to come into the pits. Halfway stages of the Okayama 400 have already passed. Just wanted to check around. Back at Okayama for the Okayama 400 here. Tyler Williams now currently having this, currently exiting the pit lane, currently in 5th place. Apologies for the background audio once again. He's actually he's having a pretty good gap here against his fellow rivals, Cheon and at Sky here. Especially if you look at Cheon here, his gap's actually 12 seconds. Sure, the gap's dropped down just a bit. But Tyler Williams should be okay for this race right at the end. Oh, you can see here Daniel Barger also coming in for his pit stop here. He's gonna go peel into his pit box right now, as he's gonna spend a decent amount of time inside the pit lane. He's gonna try to gain as much position as he can, as his other opponents have fallen down by the wayside. Especially Mohamed Shadon Reza and Alton Tanneral, but Alton Tanneral already is still bottom of the table still. With this result standing, and Tanneral will still remain at the bottom of the table with an average finish of 33rd, unfortunately for him. Daniel Barger exits the pit in 26th place. He should be able to mount a decent challenge for the top 20 spots. Hofumi also comes into the pits. Currently beaten comfortably by Tyler Williams here. Looking into the drivers who have made their pit stops here, Tyler Williams leads the field of those who have made their pit stop. Looking at Yu Chae-yeon coming across the final corner here. Hofumi is still stationary inside the pit box, and that should be Yu Chae-yeon taking 2nd place in terms of net positions here. More side-by-side battles between DuCM and Leo. And it should be Kizuhara Leo's advantage for now. Coming into Williams' corner and into the Moss S, and that should also mean that DuCM has been shuffled off wide. Now under pressure from Jake Goodwin, who's about to unlap himself. Jake Goodwin not having the race of his life so far. Currently down outside the points in 32nd. And obviously we're looking at Isakaji Mikola, Daniel Goyena, Richie Rod absolutely miscalculating their fuel loads, making 3 pit stops in one race where they should only be making one. That is some wasted opportunity here, and that's gonna cause a huge dent in terms of their racing chances for the race win, especially for Richie Rod at the back, and as well as Isakaji Mikolev. For Isakaji Mikolev, that's probably going to condemn him into the Zako, and for Rod, that's gonna further mess up his chances of qualifying into the Suyo. Remember, you need to be inside the top 20 in points in order for you to qualify for the Suyo series, for you to try your luck to become the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series champion. We're looking at Hofumi already pitting. Now he is currently what should be a net 4th place with his pit stop here. Behind Cheon, Sky, Tyler Williams currently in the race lead. Currently leading this race right now is Rustim Karasio, who is able to clear lap cars with relative ease. And as you can see here, trying to clear Johan Sinful currently down in 26. Ali Fartoyo now in 27th. Daniel Barger is now up into 25th. Because Salman also trying to make use of the open space in front. But right now there is no call from any of these drivers to pit in this lap so far, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see who will be the next drivers to come into the pit lane. Jake Goodwin, of course, as we mentioned, currently runs in last position, in the last place out of the 32 remaining cars right now. And then we have Chris Salman trying to peel himself against Alex Hartoyo for position, for basically putting Hartoyo a lap down. But of course, Hartoyo is going to give Salman a lot of work to do, as he's currently in 2nd place. He has not been this high up in the field since incidentally Okayama the previous season in November. Meanwhile, we're looking at Rustin Karasio just comfortably inside the race lead. Daniel Barger already pitted. Rustin Karasio has yet to pit and has to surrender the lead to Tyler Williams pretty soon. And speaking of Tyler Williams, he's already in the back straight right now. Rim Olgo currently barely inside the points positions. He will be set to score about 4 points. And then we have Isakaji Mikolev down in 30th place. Richie Rod now is the first driver out of the points in 31st. Richie Rod really desperately needs desperately needs as much position as he can. Obviously, the pit stop cycles have not worked in his favor. Obviously, the best chances are Jasinski, Demonstrav, Richie, Gibbons, Cashew, and Turner pitting in these next few laps. But right now, they're currently having a big gap here. Michael Turner is already at Atwood, and looking at where Richie Rod is, he's already at the main straight, which tells you all you need to know about Rod's chances of sneaking into the points. Tyler Williams has had the news. Chris Solomon comes into the pits, so there's going to be Yu Cheon coming up. There's going to be Ed Sky coming up. More drivers coming to the pits. That's Fabio Mendes further back. Salman coming into the pits. I think that is actually going to be a pretty good call there. He's just going to be side by side with Ed Sky. Oh, and Ed Sky just about being held up there by Crystal Salman. Crystal Salman just needs a bit of a stroke of genius here to get his tires warmed up, but it's not going to be. His tires are not warm enough. Ed Sky having the better grip beats Salman off the line. Salman is currently good enough for 4th place, but still a very, very good performance for him as he's aiming to get himself into the top 10. Tyler Williams currently in the net race lead. Remember, Rustin Karasio and So Byung-eun have yet to pit in this race. So in terms of net race leaders, Tyler Williams is actually going to lead this race. Alex Grant currently in 4th place for Yukihan Alami, Sean Pauli 6 for Coronet, Kizar Leo 7 for Shion. Lots of drivers having yet to pit.
Let's see where it leads to for these drivers. Of course, Salman should be able to find a way past Etsky to score his second podium finish in Hololive GT3 in basically his ARO season. He, of course, is already proven as a race winner. He's won the Suzuka Grand Prix last season in Formula Hololive Japan. Salman obviously showing that he's got a lot of pace and potential in that number 12 ASCII, showing his pitch black potential. Obviously that's also reflected in his helmet, if you can see here. Dark in color, just showing you the absolutely dark skies coming up as the universe probably ends. Anyways, currently on lap 31, 30 laps complete of the 55 lap Autopolis rider Okayama 400, and currently Rustin Crosjoe leads this race, but he is currently behind the lap car of Daniel Barger. But looking at So Byung-eun, looking into lots of traffic up in front, and that's Irene Nakamura nearly going off there, clipping off the curb, being overtaken by Raji Kaczynski. That almost ended in disaster for her. Now we're looking at Vlasa Domashnev and Lorenzo Ricci going side by side of Nakamura on the inside line, and that should be a three-wide battle fizzling out as they don't want to risk crashing out once again. Meanwhile, we have Reba and Gibbons side by side between each other once again. Reba just having the nose ahead of Gibbons, and that should be good for Reba for 16th place. These drivers, of course, still having yet to pit. For Kaminari Reba, just wanted to check, he will be pitting in the next 9 laps. Some of the Lexus drivers are going for the aggressive overcut strategy and hope and go for track position in the mid stages of the race. Meanwhile, further back, lots of racing action here. So Byung-eun trying to clear the lap car of Daniel Goyena. Meanwhile, we have Daniel Barger and Jeff Clark going side by side. Dayame and Suisei cars literally head to toe between each other. And now you can see here Jeff Clark having to defend against Alef Hartoyo back down in 26. Johan Sinful not far behind. Daniel Goyena trying to salvage something from this race. Of course, having made the mistake of making 3 pit stops. Just hasn't gone to plan for Goyena. Pole sitter by the start of this race now down in 28th. Oh, makes contact between himself and that looks to be So Byung-eun. So still side by side with Goyena at the start finish line. So Byung-eun, of course, currently in 2nd place. Currently on the lead lap, Daniel Goyena a lap down. Tyler Williams is not far behind in 3rd place. Rustin Caraccio also currently in this lap car melee. And that'll also open the door for Yu Cheon, Crystal Salman, and that Sky to probably sneak in an opportunity to pass the race leader, Tyler Williams. Alex Grant coming into the pits. Rustin Caraccio currently leading this race right now, but for how much longer he will lead? He will lead for about 3 more laps maximum. So Byung-eun will stay where he is up until the next 6 laps. And right now, So Byung-eun just needs to chill. Just the same goes for Rustin Caraccio. But ideally, he wants to clear Hartoyo as well. Speaking of clearing, Vaso Machina tries to clear Lorenzo Ricci for position as the Machina gets up into 14th place. Ricci, Reba, and Gibbons currently in a battle for 15th place. Kaczynski is still showcasing his authority in Hololive GT3 at the moment, as did Choco in her original Idol uniform outings. Kaczynski currently is the best running Lexus driver at the moment, and as it stands right now, actually, we just don't know who's going to be taking over the race championship lead at the end of round 3. Meanwhile, we have Grant and Kaczynski now going side by side. Alex Grant, he spun out in qualifying, qualified 15th, and now is putting his car up into 11th. Meanwhile, Tyler Williams has cleared So Byung-eun. Tyler Williams now up into 2nd place. Of course, we're looking at Tyler Williams currently in the net recently. Just needs to clear Rasim Kurashio, who's going to pit in the next 2 laps. Tyler Williams, of course, representing Amane Kanata, known as the PP Tenshi for her use of the PowerPoint during her debut stream. At least that was back when she made her debut in January 2020. At least that's how the story goes. And also we want to talk about how, also there's a bit of a battle here, but that's only because Michael Turner finally comes into the pits. Anyways, back into Tyler Williams. Namane Kanata. Kanata, of course, having some issues that plagued her, like her, I believe one of her ears not performing well as intended. But she doesn't let that limit her, because her performance on stage has been very much impeccable, hitting the high notes as long as she did at various stages of the live concerts that she has hosted. She shows that she is very much a potent potential on the racetrack, at least on stage for Kanata, and for Tyler Williams on the racetrack. Hololive GT3 Japan Series champion Callum Gibbons currently in 17th. Reba managing to make the defense work. Meanwhile, Sean Pauli also coming into pit. Lorenzo Ricci and Vlasa Damashnev side by side between each other for position. Sean Pauli, of course, coming in for his pit stop. And Lorenzo Ricci just about manages to defend, just about cuts him off. But that's only because Lorenzo Ricci comes into pit. Sean Pauli's story is pretty weird, as Sean Pauli had won, actually, the Autopolis 400 had it not been for the penalty given to him for crashing then race leader Richie Rod at the middle stages of the Autopolis 400. Now in the Okayama 400, Sean Pauli is now exiting the back into 16th place. Pistol cycles have yet to conclude, with Kurashio, Byung-in, Cheon, Leo, Duciem, Kaczynski, Damashnev, and Reva having yet to make their pit stop. Gibbons and Ricci also making a decision to come into the pit lane right now. Cal Gibbons exits currently in 23rd. Daniel Barger now up into 21st. He needs as much position as he can right now. Tashin Kurashio finally makes his decision to pit. And the distance between Williams and Cheon will be something that we need to pay attention to. Because right now, Cheon is now only 8 seconds behind Tyler Williams, who is currently stuck behind lap traffic. You know who else is also catching up? Ed Sky and Crystal Salman. Currently, it's a Nissan top 3 lockout. It's a Nissan podium lockout. Tyler Williams currently leading this race. So with Yu Cheon looking to be a net second, and Ed Sky looking to be in a net 3rd place. It had been coming for the Hololive cars, and finally it's going to come to them as Kurashio exits the pit lane in 9th place, just ahead of Alex Grant. Hololive's gonna enjoy a pretty good day. Fabi Mendes and Ri Liu, of course, 15th and 17th, just means that there are going to still be something that needs fixing. But at least the Nissan, at least the Hololive team Nissan drivers in Cheon, Kurashio, and Ed Sky, they are at least inside the top 10, which is amazing to see for Hololive after a season of struggle in 2023. Mama Cashew comes into pit for Sonomaki Watame. He's now down in 22nd. Gibbons and Clark not far behind. There goes Ali Fartoyo as well. Cashew will also have the issue of warm tires. And look to me that Fartoyo is able to clear Cashew. Same goes for Sinful. Daniel Guyena is also looking to clear Cashew as well. And you can see here also So Byung-eun also now being stuck behind his fellow Bakatari teammate. That is Chernoy Fla and Sonomaki Watame. Kizura Leo coming into pit from 8th place. Fumi sets his personal best. So coming to clear Mama Cashew, who's not had the warmer tires just yet. And there he is. He has cleared it. Now Isakaji Mikalev going side by side with Rim Olgord here for 28th for what we're seeing here. Looks like there's a side-by-side at the back. Isakaji Mikalev trying to challenge Olgor for 28th. And now challenges Muhammad Cashew for 22nd. 27th. It's going to be a double overtaking move for Mykolaiv, and that's going to be a move well done for Mykolaiv. Nicely done for the Sakamiko driver. Meanwhile, Yu Cheon's gap to Tyler Williams have dropped down to around just about 5 seconds now, as Tyler Williams is still struggling to overtake Danilo Goyena. Danilo Goyena is going to give a bit of a headache to Tyler Williams. Tyler Williams knows he needs to clear lap cars if he wants to have any shot of getting this race win. His first for Amane Kanata, and the first for Kanata since July 2022. Danilo Goyena giving headaches to Tyler Williams as he gets shuffled off wide around the outside of turn 1, but fortunately coming into turn 2, that should be Tyler Williams still ahead. Anyways, back in Okayama, apologies for the slight break, just wanted to rest the throat. Cheon's gap have now opened up by about 6.6 seconds, with Tyler Williams now clearing Danilo Goyena. Goyena, of course, now trying to fend off So Byung-eun. Yu Cheon herself is now currently stuck behind Mohamed Cashew, and now about to be under pressure from... that should be Michael Turner down in 31st, now outside the points. And it's also funny to think that the race is far from over. Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of racing action. So Byung-eun is now currently being called into the pit lane right now, and that is So Byung-eun inside the pit lane. Now it's Yu Cheon's time to try to challenge Tyler Williams, as he's now going to be behind Johan Sinful this time. But obviously in the middle of Tyler Williams is actually Danilo Goyena and Isakaji Mykolaiv and Rim Olgo, Richie Raw, and Mohamed Cashew. That's like 5 cars separating Williams and Cheon. 5 cars separating Cheon to Tyler Williams, and 6 cars separating Cheon from this race win. Fabio Mendes and Sean Pauli training positions between each other. Fabio Mendes now up into 14th place. So Byung-eun doesn't have a lot of time spent in the pit lane. So Byung-eun now up into 11th place, as you can see here. Inside 11th place, he's doing pretty well here for Shiranui Fleur despite the circumstances. So Byung-eun obviously inheriting Aki Tanaka's place inside the top 20 in the Suyo spots. Obviously, prior to the start of the round 3, it was in 18th for the Shiranui Flare Nissan. Aki Tanaka left the right as it was in 18th. Now So Byung-eun is going to be in a favorable position to put that Shiranui Flare car at least in 15th and above, as it stands. Meanwhile, Ed Sky and Maverick Duciem right behind each other for the battle for third place. But of course, Maverick Duciem has yet to pit. Duciem looking to pit in the next 5 laps. Reba is looking to pit this lap. Here's Ed Skies is on board in the number 16 car. Just look at his helmet. So Iroha like the helmet. It should help him give enough more energy as a part of the fan base from Kazama Iroha. Just wanted to check right now. Kamine Reba, of course, confirmed to be in the pit lane. Sheldon Reza just trying to continue, but he's just unable to continue. Obviously, that is we mentioned that it is his race over at the start. He will come home from the Okayama Grand Prix as the last place finisher. Very unfortunate, but fortunately, Reza would still be in a somewhat safe position inside the Suyo, given that he's had some very good runs in between. Yeah, well, in the first 2 races at least, he's performed well enough for him to at least stay inside the Suyo. Tamina Reba has been overtaken by Lorenzo Ricci as he's finally out of the pit lane, down in 21st. Shakib Reza, despite all of the things that have happened, he's now currently back into 18th place. The pit stop cycles have yet to be concluded. Wojciech Kaczynski is going to make his first and only pit stop at the late stages of this race. Meanwhile, looking into Maverick Duciem, who's not going to pit until the next 5 laps. Extending very long on his overcut strategy. Meanwhile, we have Kaczynski finally coming into the pits. And side by side goes Nakamura and So Byung-in. Nakamura hanging around the outside. And back down the inside of So Byung-in. And Byung-in trying to find some space, but just wasn't able to fend off Nakamura's very strong attack. She is cooking, as she's mentioned earlier before the weekend. She is cooking as we speak, currently performing consistent runs for Akai Hato, despite Hachama not being available to do any form of idle performances. 40 laps complete here in Okayama, in the Okayama 400 race in the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series qualifiers. And right now, we're looking at Tyler Williams currently leading this bunch of drivers, leading the field of many, leading the field of the 31 cars still running. Just wanted to check around what's going on in basically the scenery right now. Williams obviously leading Cheon by about 7.4 seconds. Rohan and Shakib Reza trading blows between each other. It had been coming for Shakib Reza. He has been faster than Jeff Rohan in these previous few laps. Now Shakib Reza is going to try to peel around the inside. And as you can see here, Shakib Reza nearly losing that position away from Jeff Rohan. As Faza Damashev comes into the pits, Shakib Reza manages to take 16th place away. Showing the progress route right now, Maverick Duciem gaining 24 positions from the start, but he's going to lose that very soon as he's going to be one of the last drivers to pit. Meanwhile, Daniel Barker is showing up very well there, despite starting 31st. He made use of his opponent's rude chances, and you can see Barker is now up into 17th place. Kaczynski obviously having made his pit stop. Barker now up into 17th. He's doing very well there, despite the circumstances, to put that Suisse car up in front. Despite Suisse, of course, not preferring to use the original uniforms, instead preferring the bright uniforms. Meanwhile, Ed Sky and Crystal Salman going side by side. Nothing is given between the two. Salman just trying to hang around the outside of the final 2 corners here in Okayama. They're still side by side coming into turn 1. Hofumi is in the mix. Kurashio also. Salman hangs around the outside, and you can see here Salman really placing his car at the right places here. The outside of turn 1 immediately becomes the inside of turn 2, and what a move by Crystal Salman to get himself into 4th place. That's a very good maneuver there from Salman. As expected from the driver who represents ASCII at this high level, he is showing that he's got pace and power to get himself into what should be the net podium, because remember, Maverick Duciem has yet to pit in this race, and right now Salman has only 2 obstacles for his first win in Hololive GT3, and the first win for ASCII in Hololive GT3 is Yu Cheon and Tyler Williams. Yu Cheon currently stuck behind what should be Rim Olgor at the front. Tyler Williams still stuck behind Johan Sinful. if these two drivers mess up their chances, it's going to be because of Salman who's going to be taking home this race win. But obviously, now we had the final decision there for Maverick DCM. He now finally comes into the pits as we speak, because Salman should be able to inherit this third place that he so long covets. The progress starts has been in favor of him as well. Started 8th, now into 3rd place. We're just gonna continue to highlight his amazing racing performance here, but not before we see Ed Sky going side by side with Rasim Karashio, who have actually cut through the melee of Sky and Fumi to get himself into 4th place. And now it's a Nissan civil war between Sky, Karashio, and Fumi. Sky down the outside of his fellow Hololux teammate Rasim Karashio, the founder of Hololux, and Ed Sky, representing the Samurai of Hololux, going side by side at the back straight here in Okayama. Hopefully, the OG of it all, well, representing the OG of Hololive, Tokinosora. Oh, the 3 wide nearly going so wrong there between the 3 Nissans. Karashio still managing to hang around in 4th place. Salman is going to enjoy this moment as he's set to get into 2nd place. Tyler Williams leading this race by 6.5 seconds over Yu Cheon. Salman not far behind Cheon by about 12 seconds. And as you can see here, Karashio really hanging around the inside of Hobbs and coming into Mike Knight to defend his position. And looks to me that he's able to defend his position, but not before Ed Sky tries to dive bomb around the inside of Karashio, and that's Hofumi also going off. Again, the Hololux cars going at it to end between the two, and it looks to me that Sky should be able to get Karashio. And the answer is that Sky against Karashio. Karashio wins for now. Salman now behind Jake Goodwin. He needs to clear the lap car of Jake Goodwin as soon as possible, as well as Michael Turner and Muhammad Cashew to get himself into Yu Cheon. Speaking of Yu Cheon, she's now going side by side with Rem Olgor for position. Well, not exactly for position, just to place Rem Olgor a lap down, but Olgor is gonna make life difficult for Cheon in that number 61 Takaniloi car. Crystal Salman coming into the back of Jake Goodwin. Jake Goodwin just trying to protect his pride and to not go a lap down on more cars. It is also embroiled in the battle between himself and Michael Turner for one of the silver spoon positions. Just a lot of great action here in the Hololive GT3 here. Battles at the front, battles at the back, drama, crashes, and all that stuff. What more can you expect here in Hololive GT3? And as you can see, Salman trying to find an opportunity against Jake Goodwin, as you can see here on the radar on the bottom right of your screen. Oh, and as you can see here, that is Salman taking advantage of Irene Nakamura, as Irene Nakamura made a mistake at the exit of turn 2, going off wide, and allows Salman space for him to now make an attack on Michael Turner. Michael Turner, the previous race winner here in Okayama, the last time we've been here for the season finale of the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series season. Let's see if Salman is able to overtake Michael Turner in the most opportune of positions. 45 laps complete, 10 laps to go here, and meanwhile we're looking at So Byung-in and Irene Nakamura going side by side between each other. And it looks to me that So Byung-in should be able to make the pass, but Nakamura just able to defend her position as we speak. Sorry, no. It's not Irene Nakamura that went off wide. that went off wide against Crystal Salmon. It's actually Jay Goodwin. Apologies to everyone. Ai Nakamura is still battling with Byung-eun. Meanwhile, we're looking at Salman against the lap car of Michael Turner, but of course he has to be wary of Rasim Karashio's advancement at the back. Rasim Karashio wants to make it a Nissan podium lockout, but Crystal Salman is gonna try to equal his best finish in Hololive GT3 with this third place finish. Tyler Williams still unable to clear Rim Olga, but he doesn't need to clear it right now. Well, Yu Cheon still struggling to clear Rim Olga at the moment, but he doesn't need to think about it too much because right now he has Goyena, Mikalev, Rod, and Olgar between himself and Cheon. So Tyler Williams should be able to stay ahead of Cheon and just remain safe about it. He has 4 lap cars that he can use as a pick. So Tyler Williams, as this current race leader, should be able to have control of this race right at the finish. Obviously, he didn't have control at the start of the race. He didn't have control much in qualifying relative to Danilo Goyena, who actually was the fastest car outright in terms of getting, in terms of 1 lap pace. Goyena, of course, scoring his pole position for Usada Pecora. But of course, that came undone when he had to pit 3 times due to a miscalculation in fuel loads. Same goes for Isakaichi Mikolev and Richie Rod. That allowed Williams to easily cruise himself into the race lead. He had to challenge some drivers to get himself into where he was. He did battle Rasim Karashio side by side. Meanwhile, you got to see there Rasim Karashio nearly going side by side with Crystal Salman there, but Salman with a very good defense, managing to stave off Karashio's advancements. But look at what Salman does. He tries to get close to Michael Turner, but it's not going to pay dividends to him. Look at Alex Grant going side by side with Ho Fu Mi to get himself into 6th place. Salman going side by side with Rasim Karashio, who's going to try to stake his claim into that final podium positions, but Salman is really trying to hang it around. The inside of Piper coming into Redmond. It's still going to be Crystal Salman's corner. Oh, it's still going to be Salman's corner. But look at Rasim Karashio putting in a lot of pressure against Salman. But Salman having a very good exit off of Hobbs and into Mike Knight. That's going to be ugly if they're not careful. But fortunately, these drivers are able to keep their wits about it, keeping their gaps in check. And as you can see here, both Karashio and Salman still side by side between each other. You just love to see this amount of racing action. But you can see here Karashio having the better straight line speed against Salman and having a slightly better exit off of turn 12 for Salman against Salman. Puts Karashio's lapless car up into 3rd, but not for long. Look at Rasim Karashio. Ooh, really hounding Karashio for that final podium position. Now Salman, who going side by side with Karashio once again. They're neck and neck between these two, the ASCII Honda and the Lapless Darkness Nissan. The last time the two virtual YouTubers meet, it was during Laplace's 2nd anniversary live, and right now, as what we've seen here so far, Salman managing to have a stellar attack and a stellar defense. And now, speaking of another stellar attack, look at Salman trying to attack Michael Turner and to use him as a pick. But right now, he also has to take note of Rasim Karashio. Karashio against Salman. Karashio really causing a lot of trouble here for Salman in this final position. And now look at Salman trying to clear the lap car of Michael Turner. And Alex Grant, though, moves up into 5th place. Manages to clear at Sky as well. And now trying to find a way past That looks to be Michael Turner to get himself into position against Rustin Croscio. Crystal Salman only has Mohamed Cashew to dispose of. Once he disposes of Mohamed Cashew, who's currently in the final points position, Salman should be clear to at least find a way to challenge Yu Cheon. But Cheon's gap to Salman is now 23 seconds. Cheon's gap to Tyler Williams only 4.5 seconds. But look at the amount of cars between Williams and Cheon. 3 cars. And with all drivers looking to have already made their pit stop, let's take a look into the driver's chart, progress chart one more time. The biggest gainer, of course, being Maverick DCM, started 27, now up into 13th place. An amazing drive, amazing racecraft, amazing race pace for him. Nice race for him. And also Daniel Bargard here, gaining 14 places from where he was. He was in 31st, outside the points. He's now very comfortable inside the points, and he should at least be closer to the Suyo, if not already in the Suyo in the first place. Speaking of which, Kizora Leo battling himself with Fabio Mendes. And right now it's going to be Fabio Mendes' advantage for now. Still side by side at Hobbs, and coming into Mike Knight corner once again. It's going to be Kizara Leo's advantage, so Fabio Mendes has to stick around. And it's going to be 15 positions gained for Maverick DCM if these two drivers are not careful. Maybe 16 if DCM can get his positions right. Meanwhile, Alex Grant continues his defense in 5th place against Ed Sky. Right now, we are at 5 laps to go here in Okayama to conclude the Okayama 400. Lots of dramas, twists, and turns. Meanwhile, we also have Fabio Mendes and Kizara Leo going side by side at the exit of Williams still. And now you can see Maverick DCM looking for an opportunity against Kizara Leo. Will he take a move down the inside? The answer will be, for now, no. And speaking of which, we also want to mention to you that while all this was happening, Rustin Croscio has managed to pass Crystal Salman, and at the same time, he has already passed Mohamed Cashew too in that Watame car, and that should be able to give him the needed boost for him to stretch his legs against Crystal Salman, as Crystal Salman is still stuck behind Mohamed Cashew. The gaps have opened up between Salman and Croscio. Salman's gonna try to clear the lap car of Cashew, but Cashew is not clearing up right now. Meanwhile, Alex Grant tries to clear Michael Turner. And right now we are at 4 laps to go here in Okayama in the Okayama 400 race. Oh, and now you can see here that's a crucial mistake from Crystal Salman to go off wide on that crucial part of the track at Williams. But fortunately, he's able to defend. He's able to clear Michael Turner too. He just went off way too wide at Williams corner, and he nearly lost the position. He nearly lost his 4th place. He's already lost 3rd to Rustin Croscio. Rustin Croscio using Michael Turner and Mama Cashew as a pick to pass Crystal Salman for position. Or well, for the final podium position to make it a full Nissan lockout. Cheon is still stuck behind Rim Allgore. Never mind that. Tyler Williams, let's focus on him a bit. As we mentioned here, we kind of having her own problems with one of her hearing sides not performing up to expectations. It's not working for her, at least medically, in terms of her left side ear, if I'm not mistaken. But that didn't deter Kanata from continuing on to perform at the highest level in Hololive. As we mentioned here, she's got scale, she's got a lot of fans, she's got a lot of Heyman members up on the front here. Meanwhile, Polly and Nakamura going side by side, and that should be Polly up into 9th place. But anyways, back into Tyler Williams there. He has been very, very well crafted there since he took over from Yukikaze Kai. He took over from Hanari Miyuki. He has been one of the best drivers for Amane Kanata since ever. Meanwhile, So Byung-eun managing to defend his position. Good for him. Anyways, Tyler Williams currently the best driver for the Heyman by far. Obviously, none. We had Alex Grant, of course, previously being the driver for Amane Kanata, but he hasn't been able to show his authority as much as Tyler Williams had done. Obviously, Alex Grant, when he won his first race for Amane Kanata, he actually only had 14 other drivers to compete, but Tyler Williams has 33 other drivers to compete, and so that makes it even sweeter. Meanwhile, Kizaru Leo about to be under pressure from Maverick DuCM, who has been absolutely amazing this race, putting on the circus show, and that's for a good reason. That circus show is absolutely critically acclaimed. Meanwhile, another stunning performance down the inside for DuCM coming up, as he's going to try to hang around the outside of Kizaru Leo. I don't know what comes of it, as he's currently under pressure from Ri Liu at the back. Chaka Reza not far behind. Jeff Rohan also right in the mix. DuCM hanging around the outside, but he's gone a bit too deep. Now Ri Liu makes the pass for 13th place. DuCM looking for an opportunity. And so the status inside our top 5 looks to be secure, with Williams in the lead, Cheon second, Kurashio third, Salman fourth, and Alex Grant fifth. Meanwhile, So Byung-eun against Ho Fu Mi. So Byung-eun makes the pass at the Moss X and into Atwood there for So Byung-eun. He tries to defend against Ho Fu Mi. Ho Fu Mi having a very, very good launch there, exiting Atwood. Sean Pauli waiting in the wings. Irie Nakamura also standing by. More battles side by side. Alex Grant and the lap car Michael Turner. Jay Goodwin being lapped by Ed Sky. Ho Fu Mi trying to attack So Byung-eun once again. Still side by side in between Revolver and Piper. And it looks to me that So Byung-eun manages to stay ahead of Ho Fu Mi for now. Tyler Williams crosses the line to start the final lap of the Okayama 400. Doing very well for himself and for the Heyman watching. Doing very well for Amane Kanata. It has been over a year and a half since Amane Kanata last saw her number 57 Nissan win a Hololive GT3 race, as So Byung-eun and Ho Fu Mi continue their battles right at the final lap. Tyler Williams. He has shown his passion. He's shown his enthusiasm for Amane Kanata. He has shown himself. He has also shown his determination to continue performing at the highest level for his Oshi, Amane Kanata. He, as part of the Heyman, is going to bring home silverware for the first time in a year and a half for all the Heymans watching. 2 corners left for Tyler Williams. Big, strong, grippy on the wheel, and high on the cords for Amane Kanata. Tyler Williams is going to shine high. Welcome back to victory lane for Amane Kanata. Tyler Williams secures his first victory. Tyler Williams wins the Okayama 400. Ho Fu Mi continues his climb up into 6th place, manages to make a last lap pass onto Ed Sky. Sean Paul and Irie Nakamura also going side by side. Yu Cheon finishes 2nd. Kurashio is gonna hang around in 3rd to finish in the podium for the first time in Hololive GT3. Same goes for Yu Cheon. Salman and Grant will look to continue in 4th and 5th. Meanwhile, we have Fu Fu Mi and Ed Sky battling right at the death. Pauli and Nakamura also battling right at the death. So many battles right at the end. Salman finishes 4th, Grant 5th. Fumi is going to hang around in 6th. The hangover might just be over for Ho Fu Mi, as he now is about to place his Tokino Sora Nissan into the Suyo spots. Same goes for Ed Sky and Byung-eun. Sean Pauli is going to continue to finally gets himself into the top 10. on merit after he has had a pretty clean race up to this point. Nakamura runs out of top 10. Fabio Mendes 11. DCM 13. Kizaru Leo 12. Liu 14. Shakureza 15. Rohan 16. Daniel Barger finishes an acceptable 17th place given his predicament where he was. He will have matched the most amounts of positions gained from the start with Maverick DCM. Kaczynski, the best Lexus all in this race, 18th. Ricci 19th, Demoshenev 19th, and that should be it for the drivers finishing on the lead lap. So let's take a look into the drivers who have finished this race. First of all, congratulations to Tyler Williams. That is one of the most emphatic wins in well, not exactly an emphatic win in Hololive GT3, but it's gotta be a amazing win for Tyler Williams. Winning for the first time for Amane Kanata and for the Heimin. Kanata's his first win in Hololive GT3 since July 2022. It has been coming 1 year and 7 months for Tyler Williams. Tyler Williams does it. First win for him and first win for Kanata since 1 year and 7 months. Enjoy, Tyler Williams. Congratulations to him. Yu Cheon secures her first podium finish in Hololive GT3, following on from her first podium finish in Formula Hololive, actually, in Sepang the week prior. She finished second last week. She finished second this week. First podium for Hololive GT3 for Takani Lui as well. Very amazing stuff. And also Russell Caraccio, first Hololive GT3 podium finish for him after he has finished also in third place for the first time in his Formula Hololive career. That's his second podium finish for Lapless Darkness. Because Salman has to be bummed that he was overtaken by Russell Caraccio on the final few laps of this race. And then we have Alex Grant with his best finish for Yukihana Lamy in 5th. Hofumi does well to get himself into 6th, as well as Ed Sky. Also, congratulations to him. He finishes 7th for Kazama Iroha, his best ever finish for Kazama Iroha. So Byung-eun, despite having been tapped on lap 1, finishes in 8th. So, and then for Sean Pauli and Irie Nakamura, another great run for them. Sean Pauli for Inagami Koren in 9th, and Irie Nakamura 10th for Inagami Koren, for Akai Hato. Fabio Mendes finishes a respectable 11 for Fabio Mendes, alongside Kizaru Leo 12 for Murasaki Shion. Maverick DCM, one of the biggest gainers in this race, finishes 13th, alongside Rie Leo 14th for Sakamata Chloe, capping off an amazing Hololive day. And then we have Muhammad Shakif Reza winning for Muhammad Shakif Reza for Muhammad Shakif Reza in 15th place. Muhammad Shakir Reza finishes 15th for Moses Ninich, Jeff Rohan 16th for Tokoyami Toa. Daniel Barger does well to get himself into 17th for Hoshimachi Suisei. 18th to Raiji Kaczynski for the best Lexus car in the field. Obviously, the Lexus cars hadn't been showing up for this race in Okayama. Lorenzo Ricci 19th for Team Lexus, as well as Lars Demoshenev 20th for Aki Rosenthal. Kaminari Reba 21st for Shishiro Botan, alongside Cal Gibbons 22nd for Roboko. Jeff Clark 23rd for Nakiri Ayame. Ali Fatoya 24th for Minato Aqua. Johansson for 25th for Natsuyo Matsuri. Danilo Goyana 26th, started on pole but had an error in the pit stops, pitted 3 times. Same goes for Isakaji Mikalev and Richie Rod. Goyana for Sada Pecora in 26th. Isakaji Mikalev 27th for Sakura Miko, alongside Richie Rod 28th for Shirakami Fubuki. Last 2 positions in the points positions, Rim Olgor in 29th for Ozora Subaru, alongside Mohamed Kashu, his first race for Tsunomaki Watame in 30th place. Jay Goodwin finishes 31st for Okami Mio, first driver out of the points. Michael Turner will finish 2 laps down from what we're seeing here. Looks like he was involved in an accident in the final stages of this race. We're going to check on what happened for him. Alton Taro, we can finally confirm he is the unluckiest driver in Hololive GT3 right now. 3 races into these 3 qualifier races, and he's basically crashed out in 3 of these races. Very, very unfortunate for Antanaro. And Sheldon Reza finishes last for the first time in a very, very long while, after he was being tagged by someone on lap 1. So speaking of replays, we're gonna need to go into intermission just a bit to basically cover who basically crashes where and all that stuff. And it all started off with So Byung-eun, who actually started very, very well at the front. Just wanted to check the replays right now, and right now the replays have unfortunately been saved. So we have So Byung-eun, who started in 4th place. So let's see what happened to So Byung-eun at the start. So here is the start of the Okayama 400. Let's look at the replay to see just what happened. So here's the start. So pay attention to what happened to So Byung-eun and see who made contact with So Byung-eun at the start. And as you can see here, he was actually, oh dear, he was tagged by Jeff Rohan. And as he was trying to get back on track, he was collected by Crystal Salman and Yu Cheon. And just a bit of a check here once again. Let's go for an alternative view. You can see here, So Byung-eun gets collected by Salman and Cheon, Nakamura, and Alta Santana. Rustin Crusher got the slice of it as well. Obviously, that has got to be free. Unfortunate for Byung-eun, who thought that he would deserve a bit more. So here's another onboard. Here's another onboard. This time the rear end onboard. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, got pushed by Jeff Rohan and got tagged at the back. For Salman, that's Yu Cheon, and then there's a bit of contact from Nakamura, I believe. And maybe there was no contact between Byung-eun and Nakamura, but there was contact between Byung-eun and Antana Rao. So let's go further back and see what has unfortunately happened to Mohammad Shadran Reza, as he would unfortunately finish last after he was being involved in a lap 1 incident with what should be another driver. That should be Jake Goodwin. So let's see what happened here. Shadran Reza hanging around the outside. Jake Goodwin. Oh, and that was a massive crash between Shadran Reza and Jake Goodwin. Not exactly what these drivers had hoped for. Here's another angle once again. Shadran Reza went off wide, spun off, and then gets collected by Jake Goodwin, which explains why Jake Goodwin also has a bit of damage as well. So we're gonna see if Shadran Reza was actually getting pretty close to Jake Goodwin, or was that a mistake in his own end? So as you can see here, Shadran Reza misjudged the space between himself and Goodwin, makes contact with Goodwin, as he thought that there was no space. So he thought that he must go wide. So we're gonna go on board with Jake Goodwin. So here's Jake Goodwin is on board. Oh, caught unaware, gets collected by collects Mohammad Shadran Reza in the melee as well, and that at least put Shadran Reza off the map. You can see he does a lot of damage to Jake Goodwin's car at the start of this race. Fortunately, he would be pitting in the early stages of this race and pitting again, unfortunately. So, and then there's another incident that we want to talk about also, especially for Michael Turner, who I believe has crashed right at the end. So here's what happened to Michael Turner. Here's an incident that we have missed. So here's Michael Turner coming into Atwood Corner, and as you can see, here's Jake Goodwin. It's Jake Goodwin once again. Jake Goodwin involved in 2 separate incidents, but this time, this one is a bit more egregious. He spins Michael Turner off. Anyways, Michael Turner being collected by Jake Goodwin on that incident there. Apologies for the slight background noise once again. And here we can see Michael Turner is on board as this incident unfolds. Here is Michael Turner is on board. Yup, that was pretty late braking from Jake Goodwin. Not much mutual communication and space given between the two. Michael Turner obviously out of the race at the tail end. That also actually gave the opening for the drivers to actually nudge themselves in front. So let's also take a look into Rustin Karasios' overtake on Salomon that basically guarantees himself a third place run. So here it is. So here's the sequence. So you can see here Karasio tries to find the space against Crystal Salomon. Crystal Salomon actually went wide at turn 2. Here's Salomon trying to go around the outside of Mama Cashew, but that actually opened the door against him, against Rustin Karasio, and Rustin Karasio immediately goes down the inside of Crystal Salomon, just like that, and this should be at around lap 49, I believe, around lap 50, and then at the same time you can also see that Karasio have actually made the double pass. You can see he's not just overtaken Crystal Salomon here, he's also overtaken Mama Cashew in one fell swoop. He basically killed 2 birds in 1 stone, and that basically guarantees him a spot in 3rd place. So it's another feel-good story here. Also for Yu Chaeyoung currently in 4th place. And a bit of a unfortunate circumstance for Alderson Antanarao, unfortunately. Let's take a look into Antanarao and see what has happened to him. So this is Antanarao. He was battling with So Byung-hun. He was around the outside line at Mike Knight at this point. You can see Antanarao gets pushed off by... Well, Antanarao feels like he got pushed off by... You can see here, there was no contact, as you can see. Anyways, looking at Antanarao here, you can see the amount of space given between the two. It's so borderline looking at the... But I think there's no contact because there's no sound being put. So let's just play it again. So this one is just Antanarao being very unfortunate and unlucky. And as you can see here, boom. That's just very, very unfortunate for Antanarao. No two ways about it. Antanarao has been very unlucky, and at the same time, just very, just not up to snuff at the moment. But then again, it happens to some of these drivers. So anyways, that should be it for the replay session here, as we're about to finally conclude this stream. So my thoughts coming into the end of this race, lots of shakeups in the serial standings. Nissan's first win since Daniel Barger at Boram in September 2022. And also at the same time, we also want to take a look at excuse me, okay, at least the results are pretty accurate as it does, but the total rate time is a bit inaccurate. So we can actually kind of show you all the new championship standings here. And because Rustin Karasio takes the checker flag in 3rd place, there is actually a new championship leader in the form, as you can see here, Rustin Karasio as your new championship leader for Laplace Darkness in Hololive GT3. Yes, my darkness, as Rustin Karasio secures a spot in the championship lead. Irene Nakamura, with her continuous consistent runs, is now in 2nd place for Akai Hato. Raija Kaczynski 3rd for Yuzuki Choko. Tyler Williams 4th for Amane Kanata after his amazing win. So Salomon climbs up to 6th place after his 4th place run in the Okayama 400. Jeff Rohan and Sean Pauli go up a few positions. They are now up into 6 and 7 respectively. Lorenzo Ricci drops down to 8th place. Sheldon Rizzo and Rim Olgo drop down to 9th and 10th. after their pretty bad runs so far. And then we also have Jake Goodwin dropping down to 11th. Kaminari Riba and So Byung-eun currently in 12th and 13th. Just wanted to check the names who were not traditionally in the Suyo. Actually, Talius is actually still in the Suyo from what we're seeing here. Yeah, he was in 20th. He's now up into 4th place, so that's a nice swing. So there's hang on. Here's the top 15 right now. Vlasa Damashnev, he's still in the studio. He was 12th. He's now dropped down to 20th. Callum Gibbons, he's now dropped down to 15th. There, Damashnev. Callum Gibbons drops down from 9th to 14th. So Byung-eun brought his Shiranui Flare Nissan up from 18th to 13th. Kaminari Reba drops down to 12th. Jake Goodwin drops down from 6th to 11th, and here is where the big crazy comes in. Here's Daniel Guyana, who dropped down from 10th to 16th. Kaminari Reba Maverick Ducium still stays inside the Suyo spot. He is now down in 17th. But hear me out. Yu Cheon, Alex Grant, and Ed Sky are now inside the Suyo with their amazing runs. Yu Cheon's second place run gives her a chance to compete in the Suyo series. Same goes for Alex Grant and Ed Sky. So they're in the final spots inside the Suyo. And the first ones on the outside looking in is, of course, Isakaji Mikolev and Ho Fu Mi. Isakaji Mikolev, who was in 13th, now drops down to 21st. Ho Fu Mi is currently in 22nd. Before this, he was actually at 30th, only having 28 points. He now has about 308 points. The road to the Suyo just gets even more competitive as time goes on, and as it stands right now with Ed Sky at 377. The odds are you making it into the Suyo at 0 points. It's still very likely. You just need results to go in your way for you to qualify in the Suyo, and we're going to point on that later. Johansen, who was inside the Suyo position, is now in Zako. Same goes for Tutora Leo, but Tutora Leo has already been inside Zako for as long as he did. Ri Liu continues to drop down in 25th place. Fabi Mendes now goes up into 26th place. Barger drops down into 27th. Michael Turner and Mohammad Shakib Reza are in 28th and 29th. Shakib Reza now is out inside the top 30th. Jeff Clark drops down to 30th place, and the final 4 positions currently are occupied by Muhammad Cashew, Richie Rod, Ali Fartoyo, and Altasar Antaro. Altasar Antaro obviously needs to win the Capture the Moment 500 at Fuji and hope that his fellow competitors who are inside the 2 positions fall off hard, and especially for Ed Sky, who is currently on that final 3 spot. But as it stands, realistically, Antaro is not going to qualify for the Suyo series, but he's still mathematically eligible. But yeah, very, very important about Antaro. But anyways, that should be it for today's stream in Hololive GT3. We hope everyone here has enjoyed the stream as much as I do. And obviously, we also have the news that the Capture the Moment Grand Prix, 500 at Fuji has now been moved forward to March 10th due to scheduling conflicts. So with that in mind, I would like to end this stream on a high note. The competition will have some we'll have some added competitiveness in the final race of the qualifiers with the current field as it stands. So yeah, I hope that everyone is able to enjoy the stream as it is. I'm Mama Reza in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the Okayama 400 in the 2024 Hololive GT3 Japan Series qualifiers. See you in Fuji as we're about to conclude the qualifiers season for the 2024 season. See you at Fuji.